Hey, good afternoon. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how God healed my mind from all of the spell work that had been done to me. My mind was really messed up. I had all kind of things going on in my head. There was a lot of damage that was done to my mind. The enemy destroyed certain pieces of me, and I was scattered all over the place mentally. And like I said, God had to put me back together. And me watching him do this with me was it was amazing. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It was amazing to see how God did this to put me back together, especially mentally. Trauma causes so much damage on the mind. And this is why I can recognize when something will be traumatizing, and I can actually get out of the way from it if I don't want to be traumatized. I can tell when a person would traumatize me. I just can tell when something would harm me mentally, for the most part. And I know how to get out of there and get away from it, or I just don't watch it or don't deal with it, due to all the things that I saw in the spirit when I was going through spell work. They were also doing spells to make me numb. So it was certain things that was happening to me I could not feel. I couldn't feel anything behind it because of being numb. And that worked out in my favor some of those times, because it probably would have done more to me and crushed me even more. But since I couldn't feel, it was like a barrier there. Sometimes the enemy will do stuff to us and it'll end up working out in our favor without them trying to make it work out in your favor. But it just works out for you even while you're suffering or in some type of pain. But these are the ways that God healed various parts of my brain, various parts of my mind. Um, I was damaged in areas as far as how I was speaking and everything. And this right here helped me. My memory was damaged. I no longer could tell who I was anymore. Even though I didn't know who I was, I still knew something. But at that point, I didn't know who I was at all anymore. I had lost my identity. The enemy stole my identity from me. So these are in no particular order. I'm just going to tell you guys these. I started to do like a whole thing where I looked up medical stuff, but we're going to just do this here. The first one God had me to do was exercise. Exercise heals and strengthens the brain by increasing oxygenated blood flow, reducing inflammation, and triggering the release of growth factors like BDNF. BDNF is brain-derived neurotrophic factors, okay? These processes promote neurogenesis, which is new brain cell growth, and it is in the hippocampus part of the brain. It enhances memory, it improves cognitive function. Cardiovascular exercise enhances oxygen and glucose delivery to the brain, which boosts overall brain efficiency. Exercise reduces anxiety, depression, and stress while strengthening the prefrontal cortex for better emotional regulation. I definitely needed the exercise. I could tell from when I was exercising that it was helping. And exercising was strengthening not just my mind, but it was helping my body too. It was helping me to remember certain things about who I was and what I was put here for and what I do as a person, like my gifts and what I'm good at and my strengths and my weaknesses. It helped to not only build like certain aspects of my body, it helped to build my mind too. I was pushing myself, but it was more of aerobic exercise. I highly recommend doing some type of aerobic exercise, like some type of jogging, jumping rope, something that'll get your heart pumping, basically, is what will help to improve your mind. This helped me out so much in the beginning when I first moved back here. I just started back exercising and playing basketball a little bit. Um, yeah, that helped me out a lot. But the second one that I have is healthy eating. God put me on a strict diet. I cannot eat certain stuff at all. It will make me sick. It will break me out. It will do a lot of damage to me. And it's hard in the beginning, and it can get a little hard now, even though I've been practicing this for a while. because of all of the things that they have put in our food. Once they put the chemicals and all of that in the food, it is no longer food anymore. It is poison. And that's what that thing, whatever that is they are putting in there, it is messing up people's brain chemistry. It is destroying the gut lining, and the gut, your stomach, is connected to the mind. So whatever you put in your body, it goes to the brain for nourishment and anything else that is needed. And the brain, and it throws off hormones, it throws off everything if you're not eating right. And while being afflicted with spell work, I was doing a lot of drinking, so the drinking was messing with my mind right along with what they were doing to me. And I definitely was not eating right. It was hard to eat right at that time. It was hard to do anything healthy due to the afflictions that were on my body and my soul, and it was really messing me up. So that, not being able to get proper nourishment, that was really messing me up. And so once I got out of that, I started back eating right, and it repaired my stomach, it repaired my mind, and it helped me to better think, and it helped with my memory. It helped with a lot of aspects of me as a person in general. It helped with my mood. When you're eating right and you're able to exercise, it really does make a huge difference, okay? And it aligns you more with God when you do these things. I suggest eating foods that are high in omega-3s, like salmon. They have a chart, I believe, online or somewhere where you can look up what foods are high in omega-3s. What foods are considered to be brain foods? What foods can you eat to strengthen and help the neurotransmitters that are in your brain? You can eat walnuts, and like I said, stay away from processed sugars. Stay away from things that throw off your hormones, throw off your brain chemistry. Stay away from alcohol, because that'll increase whatever it is that is already going on with you. It increases the negative effects on the brain. All right, and so the next one I have is the Bible. When I was arrested some years back, I got a chance to read the Bible and understand it, and that was healing me. Sitting in there, that was healing my mind. I believe that was about the third thing that had happened when I first met Miss Williams. But reading the Bible, y'all, okay, so Romans 12:2 tells us to be ye transformed by the renewing of our mind. And everything that I was reading was feeding my soul. It was feeding my mind and heart. It was healing pieces of me. It helped me to discover certain things about myself again, that and things that I didn't know nothing about whenever I first started reading my Bible. Okay, it really does heal, and it helps you out a lot. It helps to break you out of the world, and it helps to crucify your flesh as well, and help you out spiritually. So the next one that I have is through Miss Williams. Yes, Miss Williams helped tremendously with removing the negative from my mind. Those tormenting thoughts, those demonic thoughts that was just flooding my mind, and everything else that had been done to me. The breaking of my mind that had done, the splitting, the weirdness that was going on in my head. There is a reason why I said that I don't believe nobody else could have helped me but her. It's because of everything that was wrong with me. This wasn't no just up and out situation with me, and that's why I was telling you all that a lot of you all may need more than just up and out in Jesus' name, because of the damage that has been done after the fact. Okay, and I just want to say this too. There are certain frequencies, there are certain sounds that we can listen to, and it'll draw demonic thoughts out of your head. It'll draw negative thoughts out of your head. God literally put everything here for us here on earth that we need. Everything is here already. We just have to find it, and we just have to discover it, and we have to be open-minded with God about these things. There are certain sounds that will clear your head of negative thoughts. It will clear your head of depression, for real. Oh, okay, so the next one I got is that through other people. through other people. This is the one that kind of surprised me and fascinated me the most, is when God healed me through other people. And it's not in a way that you may think that he did it too. It was in a way of, he had me to I found certain people online, and he had me to listen to them. And I was discovering certain pieces of them that was me. Like, if certain parts of their personality, I was like, that's me. And I'm not gonna say who all, it's not that many on there online, but God helped me to see those little pieces of them in myself. And that's how I was like, wow, that is literally how I am. That's a piece of who I am as a person. And God started putting the putting the pieces back together through other people, through me watching other people and seeing certain pieces of them form, and me looking right at me through them, if that makes sense. So that's the part that really, I was like, wow, y'all, we really are all connected. I'm telling you. All right. So the next one that I have, which is controversial through Christian community or whatever, but angel numbers. God healed my mind through angel numbers. And this is one of the reasons why I did not understand, and still, at first I didn't understand why people were saying that they was running them crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay. That now I'm like, okay, that must have been the demonic version that people were seeing, but they healed my mind. God helped my mind to heal through seeing them, and I see them all the time to this day. I've seen a bunch of them already this morning. Okay, they're here. Angels are in my facility. They're here. I see them here. I see the sparks of light. I see the numbers. I hear God's voice through them telling me things, especially when I first came, like when I first got deliverance and I first was on this journey. Okay, it was hard to get through the recovery process of being afflicted with all of those spells. As I was telling you all, she was continually doing spells on me. Like, I was getting hit with stuff back to back to back to back, and it was traumatizing after, it was trauma after trauma after trauma after trauma, and that really did a lot to my soul. And like I said, I feel like she did everything, and I'm still here talking and telling you guys about things and everything. But when I was in recovery from all of those wounds on my soul, I was seeing this. And I remember specifically being in the gym, and I was seeing them when I was working out. And they was telling me, take it one day at a time, take it one day at a time, one day at a time. When I would start to feel down and wanted to give up because it was hard, the recovery process from being afflicted with spell work was very hard. It was very hard. It's like recovering from like a major surgery type of deal, because you got all of these areas within your soul with all of these open wounds and cuts and bruises and afflictions. And God will use certain things to help you to get through these phases so that you can get strengthened and so that you can fly again. Okay. And you can. It was difficult, but I made it through that. And when I was seeing those numbers, it helped push me. It really helped to push me. Especially when you first come in and you're seeing them, you're like, whoa, something actually is beautiful coming through in the spiritual realm, instead of all of this scary stuff that I was so used to seeing and became accustomed to seeing all the time. So it was very nice and encouraging to see something beautiful other than to see demons all the time, and to see all of that, those negative things all the time, all day, even in my sleep. So this is how I knew this wasn't demonic. And the reason I started asking God about it is because of the many people that kept saying that they were. So I did ask him, even though I knew that they wasn't. Okay. All right. So the next one that I have is from when I wrote my book. Writing my book healed my mind tremendously, even though I had to go back and re-edit it. First time I wrote my book, like I said, God helped me through that. That was phase one of writing it. But it helped a lot, but it wasn't until he told me months later to re-edit it is when I really, like, I noticed when I went back to re-edit the book that my mind was a whole lot clearer within those, few months. I noticed the difference from when I first wrote it and published it to only a few months down the line, and it was so much more clear in my head. My head was a whole lot clearer from writing my book, from writing out my testimony. Okay, so he utilized that to heal my mind. And it probably needs some more tweaking right now, but, we'll see. Okay, he really did hold my hand when I was writing this book. And when I look back at where I was during that time when I first wrote that book, it's like, wow, I wrote the book while my head was still like a little, jarring or whatever you want to call it. It was a little spacey. Okay. So the next one I got is simply just by writing things down, writing your experiences down. Like, I write down things that I see from God all the time. I write down the things that I see from the demonic realm, so I know about warfare and what they're doing and whatever I need to know. I write both things down. I have separate books for each thing, and I just write what I see down. And especially as being prophetic, you have to write stuff down. And it takes weight off of you too when you get a chance to write it down. And it helped my mind a lot, a whole lot. Write things down, right? The good and the bad. Write it down. It helps a lot. And the last one that I have on here is when I went back to college. When I went back to college and I had to process and do all of that paperwork by myself again and everything, it triggered certain things in my head. It was like a file that was in the back of my head or something that had to be moved in the front or something. But it was like a lost file. And so once I started back going to school, the file came back up again. And it healed certain parts of my brain. Reading, doing all of that reading helped my mind as well. So I recommend you guys to read, write things down, whatever you need to do. You can definitely heal your mind. If you're having memory issues, if you're having issues with just retaining knowledge, make sure that you are doing one of these. Any of these would help you out a lot. It will at least take some of the weight of it off, where things will get better and better and better, and you'll grow more and more and more in your mind. You'll grow more mentally, and you'll have more peace of mind as well, doing what God wants you to do. Okay? So these are the things that God had me doing to heal my mind. It's very amazing. I don't know. I feel like there is more of them, but we're going to stop here. And I really wanted to say more about some of these, but maybe one day. Okay. All right. I love y'all. Take care. Bye.